and welcome to the Woollentwine Fibrestudio YouTube channel. My name is Jule and I'm the dyer and maker behind Woollentwine Fibrestudio, which is a small creative space located here in northern Germany where I play with botanical dyes and natural yarns. Welcome to a new video. I just thought that for this video I would share my favorite black knits with you because I know it's kind of a controversial concept to knit with black yarn and not everyone likes to do it, but I am such a lover of neutrals, and if you know me, I wear a lot of black dresses and black linen dresses, and I don't know, I have always loved to wear black. It's been a thing for many years, and even though I also love to incorporate a little bit of color into my wardrobe, I think it's so easy to have a couple of staple pieces that you can literally combine with everything. And so I love to also have a couple of neutral shades and, you know, some black knits. So I just thought that today, because over the past years, I've also created a couple of black or, you know, black, brown, dark yarns. So I thought I would just share my favorite pieces from the past years with you that have been knitted in darker yarns and, you know, would serve very well as a wardrobe staple, I think. So if you're in need of some inspiration on what to work next, and you know, if you're like me and you kind of love a capsule wardrobe system where you can pretty much combine anything, any kind of garment with each other and just have a relatively minimal wardrobe, I think having black knits is just a very nice thing because you can just combine it with pretty much everything. And I think especially with the yarns that I have been making, they are not like a pitch black. They are not dyed, so they are not pitch black. And I've never had issues knitting with it in the evening. But one thing I've definitely learned when it comes to visibility of black yarns and, you know, knitting with a darker shade is that for me it helps tremendously to train to knit without looking. So most of the knits that I'm going to show you, I think pretty much all of them are more on like the basic side of things. They don't have a lot of texture. They don't have a lot of cables, mainly because also it won't show up as much in a black yarn. So yeah, I think for me it was pretty easy to execute, especially trying to train myself to knit without looking has helped tremendously because I also have a relatively bad eyesight and I'm night blind. So I have trouble seeing when it's not necessarily the brightest outside. So yeah. Just to kind of get that out of the way, because I think a lot of people are afraid of knitting with black yarns because I think it's a really cumbersome task and that it's not really fun to do. But I think it's not that hard. It's not that bad. And if I can do it, probably you can do too. So yeah, just maybe choose a pattern, maybe one of the ones that I'm going to show you, but maybe choose a pattern that is, you know, a bit more easy to execute, maybe stockinette stitch or ribbing or something that's not requiring a lot of, you know, reading your knitting, or doesn't require a lot of, you know, going back and seeing if there is a mistake or something, because obviously the darker shades will hide mistakes a bit better, especially if you're working a textured garment. But yeah, I think for the concept that I'm usually going for with my black knits and having them as more of like capsule wardrobe, really easy to combine staples, it's fine to just have them in the stockinette stitch and, you know, relatively plain and basic, because that also adds to the wearability of them for me. So yeah, I guess without further ado, let me start sharing some of the knits with you. How I'm going to do this is that I'll show you my most recently finished first, and then also share about the yarns. Not all of them are currently available because most of them, you know, the black yarns, it's not easy to source black fleeces for black yarns. And most of them are more of like limited edition kind of yarns. So if I have a current availability, I will link them down below in the product tab. But just so you know, it's not possible to have them stocked, all of them, all the time. But yeah, I just thought it's a general nice inspiration, and you can pretty much use any yarn. But, you know, welcome to my black knits. I will start sharing them with you now. So the first and most recently finished black knit that I have done is my Lanark sweater by the Crea Bear. And this is a beautiful, stockinette stitch, pretty plain and simple zipper sweater. And it comes in two fits. So in general, in two textures. So there's also a fisherman's rib version. This one is the stockinette version. And it also comes in a female and masculine fit. So depending on what you prefer, you have a lot of, options to choose from. And it has this beautiful inserted zipper with a long double folded collar. And I made this one for my partner, Christoph. And that's why I've chose the musk fit version. It has slightly wider shoulders. I don't know if you can see, but there is, some distance here. And it has a dropped shoulder construction, which makes it easier to, adjust the width of the shoulders. And then it just has the very simple and sleek sleeve shaping and a cuff that I finished off with a tubular bind off. I'm not 100% sure if the pattern calls for it, but yeah, I just prefer this kind of finishing because I feel like it complemented the neatness of the sweater in general. We also shortened the sweater ever so slightly because my partner is not that tall. I think he's 175 in metric. So we shortened it a little bit. I was just trying it on and then we just, checked the fit and the length. And it was also finished with a little ribbed hem and a tubular bind off as well, in my case. So I will also make sure to link my Ravelry projects down below just so you can check out the meterage and everything, because I am not able to remember the exact meterage for all of the garments that I'm showing you. But I think it was around between 600 and 700 grams for the size 4 that we made. But yeah, just check my links down below. I will link all of my projects down below so you can reference them. But yeah, this is my Lanark by Rebecca Clow of the Crea Bear, and I'm incredibly happy with how this turned out. I am planning on making another version because I really love the fit even on myself. I didn't think I would love it so much, but I really like it on myself. So I think I will make myself another version. The yarn I've used is my Shetland Welsh Mountain DK, which is a blend of 50% Shetland and 50% Black Welsh Mountain, both in the darkest fleeces available. And it results in this beautiful, warmish black-brown shade. So it's not dyed, it's all natural sheepy colors. And with how it is with black fleeces is that most of the time the sheep's fleece kind of develops in color from the parts that's closest to the skin to the tip of the lock. And that is because, the longer the hair gets, the more it kind of gets bleached by the sun and, the weather circumstances. So you will not really get a completely pitch black fleece. It's very rare to have that because of, the bleaching kind of that happens to the outside of the lock. And that's why most of the sheepy blacks that are not dyed, they are most of the time more leaning towards a more brownish, warmer undertone. I will show you one that is even more black than this one, but just so you know why you will not really get a pitch black color from a sheepy fleece, just because, when everything's washed and carded or combed together, the lighter bits will be mixed in with the darker bits that are still closer to the skin. So that's why then the melange or mix, if you will, of these locks will result in usually more of a slightly brownish undertone. But I think apparently that's the beauty of it, because I think it ages very well. because I don't know if you're aware of this, but black pigments, when you have them synthetically dyed, they are made, most of the time, they're made out of a mix of different pigments to result in a black. And some substances, for example, if you spill an acid on it or something, can break up those pigments. And I think overall with washing, and also depending on what washing detergent you're using, black dyed pieces can also, age in a not so flattering kind of way. So they usually gray out in a way that I think it can be a bit, sad at some point, because I really like also to have the pitch black things. But what's nice about these natural shades is that they will not age as much and they will pretty much stay the same. So yeah, that's what I really like about natural black yarns. And yeah, this is my Lanark by the Crea Bear in my Shetland Welsh Mountain DK. Now let's move on to the next pattern. Another recently finished object in this same yarn blend but a different weight is the Equinox vest tank by Shay Johnson. And this one is this beautiful little vest with a little I-cord tie in the front, and I absolutely adore this one for layering, especially considering, this kind of capsule wardrobe approach that we've been talking about earlier. This is very, very fun to wear, and it's so easy to layer over pretty much everything. And I absolutely love how wardrobe stapley this one is, because it's just, so simple to wear, so simple to combine. The pattern also has different options that I think you can also do a buttoned up version. And then also I think another kind of neckline construction. Don't quote me on that, but I know that there are different options to this, but we went for this little I-cord tie in the front. And I think it's just so cute. It's kind of like a whimsical design, but I love the touch that the black added to it, that it's a bit more minimalistic and modern, if you will. So this one also was knitted in my Shetland Welsh Mountain 4-ply. So this is the same blend that I showed earlier, but in a 4-ply or a fingering weight version. So this one is very good for layering and, wearing during the spring. And I'm currently getting a lot of wear out of it because it's starting to become a bit more spring-like here in northern Germany where I am. So the edging is also finished off with an I-cord, which I think is just so neat and at the same time very minimalistic. Same goes for the sleeve openings. So it's very easy to wear even over something like a textured or patterned garment. So I think this is also a very good wardrobe staple. I will also link my Ravelry project down below because I think, if I'm not mistaken, this one is also cropped by a couple of centimeters in order to match my height. I'm 157 metric, so I often have to crop my projects just to make them fit my body a bit better. So yeah, this one is the Equinox vest tank by Shay Johnson, and I think it's just so cute. Love wearing it in spring. So after this more of a spring-like garment, I have another pattern for you that's a bit heavier. And this one is the Dijon polo by Eri Shimizu. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name, but this is just a kind of polo shirt piece with this beautiful little button opening and some bell-shaped sleeves. I don't know if you can see. And this one is beautiful. I also cropped it quite significantly to wear it over dresses. And I think it's a very nice way to wear this kind of polo shirt. It has a very interesting shoulder construction too. And as you can see, this yarn is even more black than the one I showed you before. And this one is my Nurture yarn, which is a single ply Finn sheep wool. And it's in the colorway Midnight, which is unfortunately discontinued, or at least it was a limited edition. So I don't have it in this shop right now. But this is the Midnight colorway in Nurture. And I think Finn sheep wool is the blackest I have come across when it comes to the raw fleece color. As you can see, this one is really, really dark, really black. And for this polo, it's a DK weight gauge. So we held the single ply yarn double to achieve gauge. And it's really squishy and warm. So yeah, for probably I would not really be wearing this one around spring so much. It's more like almost like a wintry layering piece, but I think it goes so well over dresses. So it has a bit more of like a polished look, and I absolutely love this one. So this is the Dijon polo. Wholeheartedly recommending the pattern as well. Next up, I have an accessory pattern for you. And these are the Aine mittens by Bee Mandarins of Melody Hoffman. And they are just a super cute pair of mittens. You can see the thumb hole here. That's great to be using leftovers. So this one is also the Shetland Welsh Mountain 4-ply weight. And then we added some embroidery with some random leftover yarn. And these are really cute. I love wearing them in the fall when it's, you know, getting just a little bit chilly and you want to go outside and maybe have a coffee or so outside and, you know, don't want your hands to get too chilly. They are super simple to execute too, and they don't take a lot of yarn. So great if you have maybe a leftover skein from making a garment, making it very easy to use up any leftovers. So these are the Aine mitts by Melody Hoffman, and I really love them. Next up, I have another garment that I finished, I believe, 2 years ago. And this one is my Nobba sweater by Reta of Arnitz or Ernitz. And unfortunately, this pattern is not on Ravelry, but I will link it down below from her website. And this one is just a super simple drop shoulder construction sweater. Very, very oversized, super easy to layer. And honestly, I'm wearing this one a lot around the studio or even when I'm going out, because it has, you know, despite its oversized fit, it has a very great shaping and it's not like too baggy or anything. I really love how this one sits on me, and it's just a very nice, you know, basic sweater. And that's what, you know, I was talking about in the intro, that I love, you know, the approach of having something very wardrobe staple-y, and that's definitely what this sweater is about. It's a DK weight gauge again, so I used my Shetland Welsh Mountain DK in the under color again. Sleeves are a bit more, you know, wider, and that's what also makes it great to layer with pretty much everything. I also finished it up with an eye cord, just to make it nice and neat. And I remember knitting this one on vacation, so I think that's also why it has, you know, a special place in my heart. But yeah, you can also see how the yarn holds up over a lot of wear, because I've been wearing this one actually quite a lot. So also apologies for it being slightly wrinkled, but you know, that's the reality. And yeah, I've been just wearing this one and loving this one a lot. So yeah, this is my Nobba sweater. And I think this, if you would choose one pattern to knit in a black yarn, I would recommend doing a very basic, easy to layer sweater, just because it's something you can always just quickly grab and throw on and it will always look great in my eyes. So yeah, this one is my Nobba sweater. The next pattern I'm showing to you is not a fully pitch black, but kind of like anthracite. But I think it kind of falls into the same category of also being like a very wearable capsule wardrobe piece. So I wanted to show it to you anyways, also to be a bit more diverse with the fit options, because this one is also a bit more of a unisex fit. And this one is the home shirt jacket by Camry Cutler of Golden Hour Knitwear. And it is pretty much a knitted shirt, if you will. And this one actually is my partner's. So I stole it from him for a bit. But it is pretty much like with full-on buttons and everything. It's a knitted shirt, and it has these beautiful finished off details on the sleeves that make it very polished, as well as on the collar. Let me see if I can properly show that to you. It's a bit hard to hold up, but yeah. This is also like the collar, and also has a double knitted button band. And this one is super nice to be like worn like an open jacket kind of fit that you can also button it up, obviously. I mean, I've got it buttoned up here, but technically it looks super fun to open it and just wear it like a jacket kind of style, I think. The yarn I used is the Onyx DK, which was a limited edition we had, I think, last year or 2 years ago. And this one is a DK weight gauge. So yeah, just so you know, I will also add my Ravelry project down below. And this is a very fun construction, and I wholeheartedly recommend the pattern. I think it's also very easy piece for a capsule wardrobe system. So this is the home shirt jacket, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Lastly, I have this very sweet little cardigan that is the Stockbridge cardigan by Isolde Teague. And this one is a bit more of like a fitted piece, especially after showing you a lot of, oversized pieces. I thought to include also a bit more of like a fitted silhouette, which is it's just a very fun pattern with, some very cleverly included details for a great fit, especially here at the shoulders. You can see that it has a very beautiful construction for, that's really tailored to your body. And it's just a very sweet crew neck kind of opening cardigan with these brass buttons that I chose. Wait, let me see if I can show them to you better. So yeah, I just think it's a very elegant piece. If you want to go out for a night or something, it's lovely to wear over a dress, or also to leave it open and wear over, with some pants or something. I absolutely love this one. It's so easy to layer, especially because this one is also knitted in the fingering weight version of Shetland Welsh Mountain. So that's the Shetland Welsh Mountain 4-ply. And it's very lightweight, you can see. Very lightweight, easy to wear, and throw over pretty much anything. So I absolutely love the fit on this one, and the attention that was paid to, the little details that make it fit like a glove. So again, slightly cropped for me to fit my height. And then it has this ribbed hem, and yeah, just this very cute little collar that is very minimalistic and cute and lays flat when you wear it. So that's also beautiful. Then it has the cuff that's a bit more like a ribbed cuff, a bit more fitted. Super easy also to wear under a coat. A very lightweight layering piece, and I think it's just glorious for any kind of wardrobe. I can wholeheartedly recommend. And it's very fitting because apparently I will be in Stockbridge in Edinburgh very soon. So that's fun. I really love this one. Again, it's the Stockbridge cardigan by Isolde Teague. And I guess that is the last pattern from my current black knits lineup. I hope this was kind of interesting, or at least a little bit inspiring. Let me know what you think of these kind of videos, and if it's an interesting format for you. It was definitely a lot of fun to make, because I realized that I actually own a lot of black knits. So I just thought it's really fun to share it with you and, give you some inspiration in case you're like me and love an easy, neutral knit to, throw over pretty much everything. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I hope these were inspirational. And yeah, I guess see you in the next one. Happy knitting. Bye.